The teacher's at right here, Myra J. Happy Wednesday,
I get so
everybody.
lost. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Hump Day, Stephen Hill.
Sometimes. Happy Hump Day. What's happening?
You gonna sing a little something for us tonight? You have a little ditty
I was
ready to
going
go?
to sing a lot for you, and then I realized we're actually on the air, and I thought that would be a bad use of time. So,
hi, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to What You Need to Know. It is Hump Day, and it is this week. Actually, this month is already flown by, right?
Yeah.
Here we are on the 27th.
Yeah.
Last week was the inauguration. That seems like so long ago, and yet so near. And the week before that, the president was impeached. And the week before that, the nation was under siege by domestic terrorists. So,
but Georgia went blue on that same day. Let us not forget.
The day before, yeah, absolutely. So, and let us continue to give props to those who won those elections, because it happened on that Tuesday the 5th. That Wednesday the 6th is when all of this craziness started at the Capitol, and so I still don't think. I mean, they took their records and they presented their information to the vice president. They were sworn in, and now we continue, but I still want to revel in their victories a little bit, and I think they deserve that.
Yes.
Before we go, it seems like okay. Before we go any further, I want to mention that our friend George Wallace, who is here with us on Thursdays, will be on with Conan O'Brien tonight.
Very nice.
And
Yay, George!
At 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock,
right there.
And he will be probably be promoting this. So.
Full twit. That's full twit.
But if you are about, and that is on TBS, and it won't be too much longer that Conan O'Brien is doing his little show, right?
Right. He's ending it, right?
Yeah, it's coming to an end. All right, so we talked a little bit about the attack on the nation's capital, the Capitol building, and those that were involved. It was 3 weeks ago today that thousands of Donald Trump supporters did have a grandstand meeting there in Washington, D.C. And then with the encouragement of Donald Trump, they took their anger and their ire and they went down the street to the U.S. Capitol, where they attacked the Capitol. They climbed the buildings, they stormed the building, and they attacked and tried to overturn democracy as we know it, because inside the Joint Congress was meeting in order to validate the electoral votes that Joe Biden received as opposed to Donald Trump in the 2020 election. Right? So this is what happened 3 weeks ago today. Yesterday, the Capitol Hill police chief, and her name is Yogananda Pittman, was called before the House Appropriations Committee to explain what happened.
Wait, hold on. Acting, as in she's acting now. She was not the person responsible when all the hits went down. That's a very crucial point.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. And I was going to bring that up because she was not the one who made the decision or had to go to others to try to get this done. She was acting as the assistant chief of the Capitol Hill Police, was following the orders of the man who resigned the day after the attack, Stephen Sund. And she was then appointed on the 11th as the acting chief of Capitol Police, U.S. Capitol Police. So she was called before the House Appropriations Committee yesterday to explain what happened. And she did this, as Stephen Hill said, as the acting police chief, but she was called upon nonetheless to explain why, and if Stephen Sund was called and did not respond, if he is still to be called and respond, we don't know. But the point is, she was called and she was there to say, you know what, I'm here, and I want to apologize for the way that the response of our team, 1,200 men and women who are out there. And even though we were prepared, we weren't prepared enough. And I apologize. Changes are going to be made, and I will accept the responsibility. She did that as the acting. even though, as we said, she was not the one in charge on the day that this horrific event happened, as they were trying to protect the 435 members of the U.S. House and the 100 members, or actually, 100 members of the United States Senate, plus the vice president.
Yes.
So, so she is, as a Black woman, once again,
coming in, cleaning up the mess.
Yeah.
Cleaning up the mess.
Exactly. Now, he did say after the event that they had intelligence that told them that there was going to be this violence that was going to happen. He went to the Capitol Police Board and told them, ask for National Guard troops. They didn't like the optics, according to reports, of the way this would look if they were calling in the National Guard. So they turned down his request. The day of the
who
event,
is they?
the Capitol Police Board.
Okay.
And the day of the attack, he called 5 times before they responded and said, okay, we need to get somebody in there to help you. And that's when they put in the call for the National Guard. If the mayor of Washington, D.C. knew, if they knew that this was going to happen, and that's really who should be called on the carpet, should be these board members, and they should be fired. And not given the option to resign, because they did not act, and they were looking at the way this looked as opposed to the way they were going to make things happen. And
because didn't the mayor of DC ask for National Guard the night before, and she was denied?
Yeah, yeah. And once again, and now, they leading up to the inauguration, they had 20,000 troops there. And what they called for was far less than that. But this is what, as the result of the horrific conditions of the building and the lives that were lost and the way that they just stormed the building, then they say, oh my God, we got to get all these people here. And they did get them there, but it was too little, too late, obviously. And this is the way that it went down. But once again, a sister had to step up and take responsibility and clean up the messes.
Yeah.
Thank goodness everybody who heard her talk so wonderfully realizes that she had nothing to do with the decision making around that travesty, right? That's and I think that's a cool thing. I hope, to your point, they call the unfortunately named Stevenson up to bat. And it's here's what it really was. You know what this was, by the way. So Trump was determined to be able to say, I think COVID's part of this insurrection. He was be able to say, well, you know what? Biden didn't have as many people at the inauguration as I did. I win. COVID was part of it, right? It's a long plan. COVID keeps people away. Let him storm the Capitol. So we got to. Biden didn't have as many people at the inauguration as I did.
And Sean Spicer was able to say, I told you so.
Right.
That's right. Exactly.
Finally.
Exactly. Well done.
Finally. The most people there, period.
Well done.
So hopefully the powers that be, whoever they are, as Myra asked, will pay attention to the Department of Homeland Security, as today they issued a threat bulletin due to the ongoing potential for violence in the wake of the inauguration, including concerns that domestic terrorists and extremists may be emboldened by the attack on the Capitol. So the acting DHS secretary has issued the National Terrorism Advisory System Bulletin due to the heightened threat environment across the country. And information suggests that some ideologically motivated violent extremists with objections to the exercise of government, this is a lot of gobbledygook, but the point is, they are saying
malarkey. Call it what it is. It's malarkey.
Thank you, President. The point is that they are helping us to understand that they understand the potential for extreme violence, and especially in the next 2 weeks when this trial is supposed to start. That is their biggest concern. And they say that they could continue to mobilize to incite or commit violence leading up to, as well as the week that the impeachment trial is scheduled to begin. It's scheduled to begin the 8th of February. in the trial, or the week of the 8th of February, and the trial believed to begin on the 9th.
Well, let's tell the truth and shame the devil. Bottom
Okay.
line, they didn't like the optics because they didn't want all those National Guard and everybody standing up there against white folks
Right.
that look like them. But when Black Lives Matter was there, we not gonna let nobody set foot on these Capitol stairs. That's the bottom line. Now that they done got caught with their drawers down, now it's like, oopsie poo. Now maybe we need to protect democracy, which is what they should have been doing in the first place. So,
Hey,
I'm done.
I got a question. Do
Yes.
you believe that former President Trump intended for people to storm the Capitol? Do you think that was his intention? I want to be very clear. Was that his intention?
Yes, and yes.
You think it was? Okay.
Yes, I do. Because I honestly think that in his little twisted mind, he sat back to say, let my minions go in and do the dirty work. I'm going to sit back here and then come and reclaim my throne, because he didn't expect them people to go down there and sing Kumbaya.
And he told them.
But do you really think? Do you really think they expect them? He expected them to go. Do you think he really? I mean, and if the answer is yes, but I'm like, I get going down there and being angry and blah blah blah. But do you really think he expected them to breach the security of the Capitol? So you're saying you both believe he?
Yes, I do.
And I don't want to take anything from Malcolm X and apply it to Donald Trump, but by any means necessary, I think that he said, "You fellas go do what you need to do."
I think.
Go ahead, Stephen.
No, you're saying because.
Okay, okay, worst case scenario. Let's say they went down, they stormed, they took over the Capitol, blah, 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 blah. And the legislators was like, oh my God, it's an insurrection, they're here. We back down. Do you think that Donald Trump would have hesitated for 1 minute to march his ass down there and say, victory, we won, I am still your president? And he wouldn't give a damn how they did it. He would not have said that those people did anything wrong, because those were his soldiers and he wanted them to go down and claim victory. So hell yeah, I really do. I really thought that he wanted to see blood, sweat, and tears. He probably didn't think anybody was going to die because he's a dummy. But I honestly do.
And even if they did die, he didn't care.
Right.
I'm with you. He's a dummy. He didn't expect him to die. But I also think I think he wanted to cause a stink. Did you
hear all of the stuff that his people were saying? And I think those people who were in his ear, including his son and his right hand.
That was all before. That was before the rally. Like all of that tape was before the rally.
Steve, that led up to it.
I'm not okay. Let me put it this way. Everybody wants to throw the greatest party of the year, but sometimes the party gets out of hand. There's a great movie I love called Project X, where all they want to do is throw the greatest party, and then it gets out of hand. My point is, I believe Donald Trump wanted to cause a lot of kerfuffle, right? He wanted to cause a lot of energy. But the moment they breached the Capitol, I believe even he was surprised. I could be wrong. But I do not believe it. Let me finish. His intention was not, to me, his intention was not to break the Capitol. That was indeed the result.
He doesn't care about the Capitol. That means nothing.
It's not a matter of caring. It's not a matter of caring, Sybil. It was his intention. I get that he doesn't care, but I understand we're disagreeing on that, but I want to make sure I'm not saying he cares about the Capitol. I'm saying that his intention wasn't, would he have taken advantage of it should it have happened? Yes. Am I glad now that there's no natural? So January 6th was a natural moment when things could go wrong. January 20th was a natural moment. Luckily, at this point in time, unless you want to count President's Day, and I wouldn't, there's no plannable event around which there's no event that's happening around which something can be planned. Right? So all these little factions were planning for January 6th. I get that. Some were planning for January 20th, but since January 6th happened, January 20th wasn't going to happen because half the National Guard was here. Luckily, going forward, there's no natural date for people to come and coalesce.
Are you applying for a job on Fox News?
No. You know how I feel about Trump. Come on. I've been very clear. But I also know human nature. Like, it's just because something happens doesn't mean you intend for it to happen. We've all been both victim and perpetrators of that.
Steve, even when they asked him to say, "Go home, stop it, stop."
I'm at intention. Okay, that's not what I mean. Yes, the action happened. I mean, when he went out that day on July 6th, because you keep giving me examples of things that happened after they stormed.
I understand exactly what you're saying. You're saying prior to them actually crossing the line, is that what Donald Trump wanted them to do? I understand what you're saying very, very clearly. And I'm saying, hell yes. Because he didn't have the balls to do it. So that's why he said
he has little people to do it.
Exactly. He had his minions do it. And so he could sit back, basically, just like I said, to wait and sit on his throne. With it, on everything I love, I swear, I honestly think that's what he wanted to happen. He wanted those people to go in there and take over and make it so that he could still be president.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, but then there would have been a more elaborate and well thought out plan, right? It can't happen.
We're talking about Donald Trump.
Let me finish. You can't have it both ways. You can't say he intentionally and did it by intention, but then didn't have a plan to have it go through. All right.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can, because we're talking about Donald Trump.
You win, I lose.
Into the presidency, there wasn't a plan. He woke up the day after that election on November 9th and said, it was like the Robert Redford movie, The Senator. And he said, "What do we do now?" He did not plan for this. He did not.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He didn't plan for it.
But that doesn't stop the intention. He just said,
"What was his intention?"
No.
What was his intention?
No. He didn't have a plan for how it was going to happen exactly. He didn't have a laid out. He didn't lay it out and say, "Okay, we're going to do A, B,
like a military move."
Right.
He doesn't have
Basically,
that.
he was like.
So you're saying he just wanted to go down there, break the barricades of the Capitol, and then just have what happened what happened happen?
They had too much other stuff on them to not have been a part of some sort of plan, some sort of idea of how do you explain them trying to take the police away from the Capitol by having the bombs laid out in front of the Republican and the Democratic National Committee buildings? How do you explain all of the equipment these people had on them in order to scale the building?
Wait. So you're saying that Trump did plan this?
I'm saying that he had a plan, and they took the plan and then did and added to it.
So
I'm saying
he wanted them to flip the boat. He wanted them to flip it.
No. My question now is one of communication. Are you saying that Trump communicated with the people who laid bombs, plans, and everything else? Someone from Trump's organization was part of that plan. That's the question I'm asking. That's what you believe?
I think it could have happened, yes.
No. Did it happen? Not could it have happened. We all know it could have happened. Do you think that's what happened?
Okay, then I'm going to say yes.
Okay. There we go.
Such hot
because I think that there were too many elements that were in place and not for him and his people.
I can't take his ass no motherfucking more. I just can't stand Donald Trump. I'm glad this motherfucker is.
I want to be clear. I think there were plans. I'm not sure that Trump was part of the plan. Right. I'm fine being the only one. It's clear that there was a coordinated plan, right? It was clear, and there may have been people in and that might have been to save lower him. Circle to be part of this. I want to be clear. There was a conspiracy, and as they pull the layers off, we're going to be astonished by the things that could have happened in our seat of government, in the head of our legislative branch of the government. But
so you're saying that there may have been a plan, but in order to save Donald Trump from being involved in this, he was not told, but he knew that there was a plan.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
Well, you should be saying that.
Okay. I mean, you can say it. You can feel free to say it.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's all right.
No, go ahead.
That was it.
He knew about it. There was some knowledge of. He might have said, "What if we storm the Capitol?" And they're like, "Let us take care of that." And then from there.
Right. Now, by the way,
take care
this
of
is a perfect time to go to comments. By the way, because I'm sure they're fired up. All right. Let's see.
Look,
Nicole says if I can get this thing working. When it comes to ignorant supporters, you don't need a plan. All you need are willing participants that take your words as your bond. I'm agreeing with that. His supporters are fueled by his words. And thanks, Myra. So, Stephen, you suck. No, Stephen, you don't hold responsible.
That's not what it said.
No, that's not what it said. I'm trying to. So, Stephen, you don't hold him responsible.
Stephen, you don't hold him responsible.
Oh, I hold him responsible. Oh, I want to be clear. His word, what he said, incited that. I want to be very, very clear. My point was that his intention going in? There's no doubt he should be impeached. There's no doubt that his words incited that. I am not arguing that at all. My question is, at the beginning of the day, did he get up and go like, today's the day I'm sending people going in to break down the security of the Capitol and storm inside the Capitol versus do I want a bunch of angry people outside cheering my name outside the Capitol? The latter I believe in. The former one I have a harder time with because it would have been better planned.
I think that he had enough people dancing around in his head and in his ear to have him wake up that day and say that. Yes.
Yep.
All right. I am lulled into a false sense of security, as you can tell by my name right there. I am lulled into a false sense of security. I am. I ain't gonna lie to you. I am lulled into a false sense of security because I believe, even though DHS put out this warning about things coming up, lack of a natural moment, and everybody's now checking everybody's. I feel like the government's even reading my emails.
Probably not.
And text. Yeah, well, that comes from an incident a long time ago. I don't want to talk about it.
But they haven't forgotten.
It involved pliers and some ball bearings. Anyhow, listen, I don't want to,
baby oil.
And feathers.
Yeah. So but there's going to be plots, but I'm confident in DHS to put them out. I am in a false sense of security right now.
What's so upsetting is that it looks like, we can always hope, but it looks like that once again the Trumplicans are not going to hold his foot to the fire and convict him of this. And it's going out on social media. I don't know who said it first, but it's a wonderful thing saying if no one is held accountable, then this insurrection was just practice.
Right.
Meaning it's going to happen again.
Yes.
And it's going to happen again. And it's going to happen again.
And that is to pull you out of your false sense of security, Stephen Hill, because I believe that this was just a practice run.
Yes. You cut a snake off at the head. I honestly think you get him and I mean screw his ass to the ground. That's just how I feel about it. I give 0 F's about him and his minions. You all tried to do something. It failed. Now you must be held accountable.
Here's why the practice run doesn't work for me, only for one reason. It was too unbelievable an opportunity, right? Your practice run isn't like, you don't plan like, okay, this is what we're going to do later. When you have all these people at the Capitol, you plan well beforehand. Look, if I'm trying to storm the Capitol, and the moment I realized that I can get through, there would have been people planning that live in McLean, Virginia or Gaithersburg, Maryland, who could have gotten to the Capitol by that time and caused some real damage. I mean, it's just, if you're an insurrectionist, it may be a practice run, but what it really was a missed opportunity.
Call it whatever. Yeah, call it whatever. Yeah. But trust me,
and
if
I think
all those people aren't, and I mean, given serious prison time. I mean, prison time like they were black. That's the kind of prison time I'm talking about. All
if they were given like they were black, they would be dead.
Prison time. That's what I'm talking about. Black ass prison time.
And Myra, you know they're not, because the woman that stole the laptop from Nancy Pelosi,
she at her mama's house.
She's under house arrest, which means absolutely nothing.
I know. She's at home with her mama.
Stephen Hill, this is from the rally, and they said that Rudy Giuliani talked about trial by combat.
Oh, he's got to go to jail. Rudy's got to go to jail. I mean, Rudy's not the president, so he can't be impeached, but he said trial by combat. He said it very clearly.
And I believe that the conversation that he's had, that is a part of the conversation, is what he brought to that stage that day.
Mm-hmm.
We are aligned 100% on that one. Absolutely.
So
I mean, he's just not in a peaceful position.
The intent was to take them down by any means necessary. Take down the government, take that building, take those people, take Pence, all of that, in order to restore Donald Trump to his position as president of the United States.
So how is that actually? I mean, we can go through this, but how is that actually going to happen? Like, I get that was a desire. There's no two ways about desire. But how is that actually going to happen, right? So if that
that's above my pay grade, but I know that there are people who could tell you how that was going to happen.
If that black officer goes left as opposed to right when he's drawing those people up the stairs, there's a couple of senators who are held hostage. But my point is, not enough people. If someone entered that building who knew that building, true damage could have been caused. Full stop.
Steve, what about those that were taken through the building by members of Congress the day before? What about those people who were taking them on tours around the building? Because there were offices that they knew that they were entering that did not have names. They had no identification whatsoever as to where they were going, and they knew exactly where to go. Whether it was Jim Clyburn's office, whether it was taking out all of the electrical alarms in Ayanna Presley's office, whatever it was, Steve, there were people, and I believe with the designation, with the approval of Donald Trump, that made that happen.
Okay, we'll find out later. We'll find out. It'll all come out.
When it all comes out, look, they can put as many people in prison as they want. I want Trump down. I want him.
Be careful.
Handcuffs. No.
Okay.
I know.
You need 17. You need 17 Republican senators to get that, and it feels less and less like that's going to happen.
And it does, and that's the unfortunate thing. But let's look ahead to next year, and this is really important. And the only reason why, and I'm not trying to get away from this conversation, but this is something we got to think about. We cannot, after this vote, and when they vote not to convict him, when the majority says we are not going to vote to convict him, or not the majority, but when they don't have the majority necessary, think to next year, because the Republicans only need to flip one seat to regain control of the United States Senate. And so all of this with Donald Trump, that's going to go by the wayside. It may be revived in some form or fashion, but when it is, the Republicans will have a majority in the United States Senate. We've got to move past this after the vote is taken, and we have got to focus on energizing that energy, that group of people who came out and voted in November and January. We have got to focus on continuing to build whatever is necessary for Joe Biden to change and to have this country evolve into a better place.
Yes.
Because where we are now is not a good place to be. And unfortunately, if they continue to have wins like this, we're just gonna walk away, with our heads down. And we can't. We gotta keep fighting for another day.
Because Reverend Warnock, the new black senator here in Georgia, he's only in that seat for 2 years.
Yeah.
So which goes by just like that.
Yeah.
In 2 years,
he's filling that 2-year period that the previous senator left. Yeah, Isaacson left.
So in 2 years, we're going to be going through this all over again in Georgia. So we can't
stay engaged.
at all.
Exactly. I don't want us to stop having this discussion, but I do want us to keep our eyes on another important prize. Because I think Donald Trump needs to be held accountable for his actions. But I also think we need to, as they're trying to tell the United States Senate, you need to do double duty. You need to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. You need to have that trial, and you need to bring out the confirmation of all of the people that Joe Biden wants in his cabinet.
Okay, now here's a question. It may be real simple, but they're trying to have all this hoopla about, okay, we can't have this trial and get everything else done at the same time. As far as I know, in America, if you had extra work to do, your ass did overtime. Now, what the hell makes them think that somehow they can't do the two jobs? I don't give a damn if they come in at 6 in the morning and have to work until midnight until the trial's over. You get it done. They always want to say, we're America, and we step up to the plate as America, and when duty calls, well, we don't know how can we have a trial and do this over here at the same time? If you don't get your ass early up and come to work, what's wrong with you? I don't understand.
You go here. You go there.
Get up. Look, they don't break for lunch. They got a bunch of interns. They can bring their ass some sandwiches and stuff, and you sit right in there and you get that work done. You don't come out until you get the work done. Everybody listening, I know, has been on a job where they're like, God dang, because you had to get the work done. So you put your butt to the ground and you work it out and you get it done. So get it done. I don't want to hear this shit about they can't. Oh no, we can't do it because we got. How can we do both of these at the same time? Well, if you can't do two things at the same time, maybe you shouldn't be sitting there. How about that?
Myra, I want you to start a series of videos. Myra says, and I just want you to talk. And you're drinking water right now. Just imagine with a little bit of something in there. What that would look like. That's it. They need the common sense conversation or the common sense from you.
Just
first of
bring
all,
it down.
best possible way. Stephen aggravating the hell out of me this evening, giving me David Cameron vibes. That one hurt. I ain't gonna lie. That one hurt.
Dipping out the frame.
That one hurt. That one hurt. That one hurt. That one hurt. Somebody else called me a Trump sympathizer. That hurt. That hurt. That ain't gonna lie. That stung. That stung a bit. That stung a bit.
So Daniel,
I prefer to think myself. Look, I'm able to think without emotion, right? To think it, to pull things apart and not really always apply emotion or how I want it to go. Right? I'm able to think of things in ways that I don't necessarily. Be clear. I think Trump should be impeached. I think he should be convicted. I hope he never runs for office again. He was the worst. I want to be very clear. So there's no sympathizer, but that David Cameron kind of hurt me right there. Second thing is here's a question I do have about the impeachment. Why are we in a hurry for it again? Is there reason? Because in my head, all we care about is Donald Trump can't run for office again. That's our North Star. Impeachment, punishing him, I don't give an F. All this is to me is Donald Trump can't run for office again. And to that end, time feels like it's on our side because the more evidence we can get around what happened, to your point, and if you're right, time is going to reveal more things that tie this to Trump than doing it quickly. So this rush to impeachment feels like it's just because everybody wants everything right now, but it doesn't feel like the logical thing to do. Get the confirmations in, then focus on the conviction after you can get a whole bunch of energy.
And you say you don't want to be compared to Daniel Cameron?
Tell me how that's Cameron. Tell me how that's Cameron.
Now, Stephen, to be honest, that's how I thought about it at first. Like, let's get everything else done for, let's handle COVID and blah, 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 blah. But then when I started listening to other people, because you know how they say strike while the iron's hot. Mm-hmm. Strike while the iron's hot. Because I was like, what? Because I think they said they had either up to 6 months or 8 months to actually file it. And I was saying, well, no, let the evidence come out. But then the more and more people started talking about it, it was like, no, do it now. while the iron's hot. In addition to, you don't want to lose whatever steam you have going with this.
Yeah.
It's emotional.
And we don't know what else could be happening 6 months down the line. It could be some more crazy stuff going, and then, oh wait, we forgot to do the impeachment thing, so now let's pull this out from 6 months ago. And that totally turned my head on it and said, you know what? Let's do it now.
You're sounding like Mitch McConnell, because he was in no hurry to bring those people back. And he's like, well, they're scheduled to come back on the 19th. And so, Mitch McConnell, who was the political godfather of Daniel Cameron, by the way. There was no big hurry to bring these people back. And so we'll just, we are scheduled to come back on the 19th. Okay, we'll make it on the 19th. No, this is.
So tell me, so why do you think the impeachment has to happen right now? The conviction why has to happen right now? Because so is the strike while the iron hot, and what's the other reason? Just so I understand before I retort.
Oh, go ahead, Rich.
Okay.
I'll go with strike
okay.
while the iron's hot, and you don't know what else could be happening later on down the line. So
the iron is hot, and you don't have 17 Republican senators. Given the information you have now, you ain't got 17 senators. Now, if you take your time and you find more information, and the case is built against Trump to a place where not unlike Watergate, Nixon was protected until the tape came out and the Republicans marched over to the White House and going like, bruh, we have been able to support you for this long. Nixon, you've got to go. So my point is, you don't have 17 now. So whatever iron is hot, is it hot enough to get 17 Republican senators?
And you think by waiting?
It's not waiting. It's gathering information. Okay. Waiting and gathering information are two different things. Waiting makes it sound like it's passive, and that's not the point. Gather information, make that information so tight that it's crucial that you get enough information, Trump is going to fall. It's going to happen. And you get a better chance of getting those 17 Republican senators you need to go like, I can't go against this tide. If we do it early, there's not enough information. There's not enough to track it down. Nobody can do their stuff. But and I'm saying wait, I'm saying gather the information. And while you're gathering information, get Biden's stuff all the way in there. That's the point.
Mitch McConnell, first you said, we're going to wait. And now you're saying that it's too late and we don't have, this is done. This isn't going to happen.
Who's saying that?
Mitch McConnell.
No, he's an idiot, though. Except for that one thing. He's an idiot. What?
Steve, God bless you.
What?
God bless you.
This whole group, I am fine not being part of groupthink.
And thank you, Sharon Humphrey Fletcher, who says this is why it's time for women to run this country. Yeah.
Because of my comments? Because of my comments?
As well as what is happening.
Brilliant thought processing there.
Oh no, trust me.
It's all your fault.
I know. I'm clear. Oh man, I can't stand it when people have different opinions than I do. Anyhow, what's that?
No. I love the fact that we are all having a discussion.
Oh yeah, I love this. I really do.
I don't want people to attack because they don't agree. I think that's the problem with our country now, is that we have all gotten to a point where it's like my way or the highway, and we can't even have a conversation to try to. I remember one time. Jay and I were arguing about something on the show, and I said, well, can't we just agree to disagree? And he said, no, we can't. He was so angry. And that's where we are. But we, it's just taken to level 93 now. It's not even, 10 or 11. It's one more. It's gone so far off the radar that, we can't. But I like the fact that we can have a discussion and not agree with everything that we say or tell you that you need a shave, but we just need to have this.
Oh no, this is a friendly discussion. Ain't nobody's mama been talked about.
Well, if you ask people here, Daniel Cameron is my mama.
Ooh. nope.
I'm having another drink of water.
Hot. Or your daddy. Let's see. And also the producer wants to thank you because she loves the different perspectives. And I do too. I do too. I don't think we can all, how boring would this be if we did not all come from this in different ways and have different opinions on the thing. So let me ask you something on a different level. Who won the verses?
The one? Oh, you talking about Keisha
No, that's so
Cole
funny.
and,
This is the only verses. This is the only verses I recused myself because actually I did a little work with Keisha on her set list, so I took myself out of voting on this. It was once it got started, it was a lot of fun. You forget how many hits they had, and the camaraderie was there. They were singing each other's hits as much as anybody else has on the verses.
I didn't hear camaraderie. I heard a lot of attitude from Keisha Cole. And
that's what I heard.
I heard Ashanti being a real congenial sister, but I didn't hear any camaraderie from your girl Keisha. I just did.
So I understand that. I felt the camaraderie with each other's songs, and both of them being challenged in different ways by the technical aspects of it. Right. So the challenges they had and the attitude, as you called it, I didn't feel like it was towards each other. It was towards the technical makeup and things they were having challenges with, not each other. Because they were singing each other's songs.
When I say that's what I heard, I'm just talking about gossip. I didn't even tune in.
Oh, Myra. And this is on water. Let's get over that.
That's right. This would have been a whole other show. It would have been last week, right? Last week would be like, oh. It would have been last week.
The inauguration night festivities.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so Steve, who would you like to see as the next versus? And I mean you as the College of Musical Knowledge, that I like to call you, because you really are. I would love to know who you would like to see.
Well, producers, it's easy. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis versus Babyface, LA and Babyface. Artists, Sade and Anita Baker. Sade and Anita Baker, to me, is the ultimate. It is the ultimate versus. I don't think they roll in the same circles, but their songs really just make you want to bite your lower lip and close your eyes and think of stuff you shouldn't. So I would love to see those two.
I think those are both genius. Yeah. Can you make that happen?
No, I am very quite sure. I have actually talked to one of those. Let's see, I mentioned 6 people. I've talked to one of them about it, and they said no, but they may be coming around. Babyface did one actually, of course, with Teddy.
Right.
And Sade, she makes an album. Sade makes an album, then disappears for a decade.
Right. Yeah.
But it's about time.
So she comes around every 17 years, like the cicadas.
Did you hear that they're coming back by $1 billion?
Steve,
Janice Brown says that Chris Brown and Usher should be the next one.
Steve, what about this one? Can you see this?
Anita Baker and Shaka Khan?
Yeah.
What Anita doesn't have is a lot of up tempos, right? She's got Fairy Tale. Right. Fairy Tale is probably like the most up tempo thing that she's got. And so I think it's tough when you're putting things like Rapture up against What You Gonna Do For Me. It just feels sonically, it doesn't feel as coherent as Sade and Anita. At least to me. I mean, they both got hits. They both got great hits, and they both sang.
That was our conversation at Poe Melvin's the other day, and talking about the verses and who we would like to see.
Who else y'all come up with that you want to see?
We were saying Anita Baker and Shaka, but you're right about the tempo and that. I agree with you on that. Is there anybody that could go up against Stevie Wonder?
Yes. No. Because if you think of it this way, so producers doing verses is better because you can do it with different artists, and so it's easy to get to 20 hits, right? There's a far more producers that have 20 hits than there are singers that have 20 hits. Right, so if you think of it that way, right? So a lot of singers have like 10 hits and then the rest of it's filler. In Stevie's case, you got to cut them off at 20. Like, which 20 of Stevie's greatest do you use? Right. And so to that end, I think Lionel Richie would be a great match for Stevie because Lionel's got 20.
Yeah.
Like Lionel's got 20
that's a
solid
good one.
ones. Stevie's got 20 solid ones. So let's go. You know, same with Michael Jackson and Prince. If you're going to do it posthumously, like in that case, you've got singers who've got 20 hits and then are still leaving some on the table. That would be
That's either Stevie or Lionel calling right now.
That's right.
I was going to say, no, that's actually, people are still calling, going, could you give money to the Warnock campaign? Because you know he's coming up again in 2 years. So they never stopped calling me.
Oh, wait. No. Yes, Daniel, yes. There's one black person who thought, yes. Yeah, okay. Daniel, no, don't take it too far. Play, don't take it. No, don't take it too far. All right. Tell your redheaded wife I say hello. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, Stephen Hill.
Oh, I so love this show. I hope I'm here next week.
Okay, so we talked about, because I really did want to get your opinion on the verses, and I really want you to make that happen. So if you can, between Stevie and Lionel, or as we like to say about those Alabama boys, Lionel.
Lionel Richie.
That would be awesome.
That'd be good. That'd be a good one.
Are you a boxing fan, Stephen Hill?
I'm an event fan. I used to go to the heavyweight fights in Vegas only because I like the spectacle of it all, but the actual brute stuff of it all. Although I do love Mayweather because I like how he's just won all of his fights and rarely knocks anybody out because he's the smart tactical fighter. So I like the tactics that he's brought to that.
So you might be interested in his financial tactics and ask people to go to our business and finance section today because Money Mayweather, the money team, is looking into investing into NASCAR teams, the business of motorsports. They're in discussions with TMT Racing, as they call themselves, in discussions with Spire Motorsports regarding a NASCAR partnership. So, he doesn't have to go out there and get himself beat up, and not run through his money as quickly, perhaps, as he does.
He got so much money. I'm not worried about him running through his money. Oh, wait.
So you don't think that when people say, "Oh, he's run out of money," that's why he's scheduling another fight? You don't see that as being a reason?
No, he's quite smart with his money. He's quite smart overall, but with his money, he's extremely. Yeah, he'll have it for a while.
Oh, good. Not that I was losing sleep over it. I was just. Before we get out of here,
Reverend Warnock.
Listen, Daniel. Okay, go ahead. You can't seriously. You can't. Yes.
Senator.
Just follow me on IG. Follow me on IG.
It was the mama thing. I'm telling you. It was the mama thing. I'm telling you.
Still tell her I say hello. Okay.
Oh God.
Okay, the only thing that would make it better is the comedians to repeat. So we need another phone ring to go and even tell for one more time with this. That would be a beautiful ending. Let us remind folks that as a part of the What You Need to Know newsletter, we also have Yogi's Jewels Daily Inspiration. And as we get to the middle of the week, here we are on Hump Day, and we remind people to breathe. It is essential that we purposefully practice our breathing. So inhale, exhale.
I'm glad you said exhale because that was about to be an ugly moment. Jesus, how long
And
we gonna hold
okay, let's see. Stephen, Angela Renee Ross Coakley says, "You're funny." Yes, you are.
And to that I say, looks aren't everything. So there's that.
You sure can't take a compliment.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Shout out to our friend Elroy R.C. Smith.
Yes.
He's leaving.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, and I was going to text him. He's leaving San Francisco, and wherever he goes, I hope that he'll stay in touch with us because he's just an incredible human being. and a great programmer too. So
Yes, and the person who started my entire professional career. So shout out to Elroy R.C. Smith.
and you know what? When he came to WGCI, I was ready to quit because of the previous program director, and Doug Banks said, "Don't go. Someone new is coming, and I think that you will enjoy working for him." And he was absolutely right. So I owe Doug Banks and I owe Elroy for so much.
Elroy R.C.
Yeah, Elroy R.C. Smith, one of a kind. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Don't forget to watch George Wallace on Conan tonight, and tomorrow he'll be with us on Thursday. Wallace Thursday. Stephen Hill, tomorrow is Sunglasses and Soul.
Sunglasses and Soul Music. I am only artists from the UK. I think it's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do only artists from across the pond.
Oh, nice.
That's it.
Okay.
So expect some Sade, some brand new heavies, some Imagination, some Eye Level,
Marsha Ambrosius,
many more, and Marsha Ambrosius, Terrence Trent D'Arby, Peter
Nice.
McCartney, Paul's brother Peter McCartney.
And what about Saturday night on? What about Sirius XM?
Sirius XM. Yep. Yes. Heart to Heart with Stephen Hill. This Saturday at 11. It's a secret as to who I'm interviewing, but you better come through.
It'll be worth it. And sings a love song.
No.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.